Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about something that can truly change the way you speak English in daily life. Not book English, not exam English, not the kind of English that looks good only on paper. Today, we are talking about real English. The kind of English people use every day. The kind of English people use in normal chats. The kind of English that sounds natural, relaxed, and confident. And today's topic is everyday English practice. Chat like a native. Now listen carefully. Many English learners study for years. They learn grammar rules. They memorize vocabulary. They read lessons. They watch videos. They try to improve. But when it is time to actually chat with someone in English, they freeze. Their mind becomes slow. Their mouth becomes tight. Their confidence disappears. And then they start thinking, why is this happening to me? I know some English. I understand many words. I have studied so much. But still I cannot speak naturally. If you have ever felt this way, this video is for you. Because the real problem is not always your grammar. The real problem is not always your vocabulary. And the real problem is definitely not that you are weak or not smart enough. The real problem is this. Most learners do not practice English in the way real speaking actually works. That is why they know English. But they cannot use English. They collect knowledge, but they do not build speaking power. They understand sentences, but they cannot react in real time. And this is exactly where your life can start changing. Because chatting like a native does not mean becoming perfect. It does not mean sounding like you were born in America or England. It does not mean using difficult words. It means something much more practical. It means speaking in a way that feels natural. It means reacting faster. It means using common phrases. It means understanding how real people talk in daily life. You do not become better at chatting in English by only reading grammar rules. You do not become natural by only watching others speak. You do not become confident by waiting for the perfect day. You become better by practicing daily English in a simple, smart, and real way. That means you must train your mouth. Train your ears. Train your reactions. Train your thinking. Train your confidence. Step by step, day by day. In normal life. Because native speakers do not stop and build every sentence like a school test. They speak from habit. They speak from repeated patterns. They speak from daily use. And that is exactly what you need to build too. You need repeated daily practice. You need useful phrases. You need real speaking situations. You need easy methods that help you speak more naturally, not more fearfully. And the beautiful thing is this. You do not need to be perfect to start. You do not need a foreign country. You do not need expensive classes. You do not need to know thousands of words. You do not need to wait for someone to save you. You can start with your own mouth, your own daily life, your own room, your own routine, your own simple words. And slowly, if you practice the right way, your English will begin to change. At first, maybe your voice will shake. At first, maybe your sentences will be small. At first, maybe you will make mistakes. That is normal. That is not failure. That is training. That is growth. That is how real fluency begins. So if you truly want to speak more naturally, if you want to stop sounding too slow, if you want to stop translating every second, if you want to build confidence in daily English chats, then stay with me carefully, because this is not just a lesson. This is practice for real life. This is practice for daily conversations. This is practice for confidence. This is practice for natural speaking. This is practice for the version of you that no longer stays silent when it is time to speak. And one more important thing. As you listen to this video, you are not only learning how to speak better, you are also improving your English little by little. Your listening is improving. Your understanding is improving. Your speaking mindset is improving. So stay connected with this journey. And if you truly want to grow your English in a powerful and practical way, stay close to this channel and keep learning step by step. Now let us begin with the first and one of the most important steps. Step 1. Think in simple English, not perfect English. This step looks small, but honestly, this step changes everything. Because one of the biggest reasons learners cannot chat naturally is this. They try to create perfect English at their mind before they speak. And this habit makes speaking slow, stressful, and heavy. Let me explain this very clearly. Imagine someone asks you a very simple question. What did you do today? Now, many learners do not answer immediately. Why? Because inside their mind, a silent struggle begins. They start thinking, how do I say this correctly? Which tense should I use? Should I say went or have gone? What if I make a grammar mistake? What if my sentence sounds wrong? What if the other person judges me? So instead of speaking naturally, they start fighting with their own thoughts. And because of that, even a simple answer becomes difficult. This is why thinking in perfect English is dangerous for beginners and intermediate learners. It makes speaking feel like a test. And when speaking feels like a test, your mind gets nervous. When your mind gets nervous, your mouth becomes slow. And when your mouth becomes slow, your confidence starts breaking. That is why the first step is not think bigger. The first step is think simpler. You must train your mind to think in easy English first. Not beautiful English, not advanced English, not impressive English, simple English, real English, usable English. For example, if you wake up in the morning, do not think, I should attempt to formulate a grammatically perfect sentence about my physical condition. No, just think, I am sleepy, I need water, I want tea, I feel tired, today is busy. These are small thoughts, but these small thoughts are powerful. Why? Because daily conversation is built from small thoughts. When native speakers chat, they do not always speak in long, perfect lines. Very often they say simple things. I'm hungry. I'm late. Give me a minute. That's nice. I don't know. Let's go. I'll call you later. I'm working right now. That sounds good. I'm not sure. Look at these sentences. They are not difficult, but they are real. And that is the point. Your goal is not to sound difficult. Your goal is to sound natural. And natural speaking always starts with simple thinking. Now maybe you ask, but why is this step so important? It is important because you can only speak fast when your thinking becomes easy. If your thoughts are too heavy, your speech will be too slow. If your thoughts are simple, your speech becomes easier. This is exactly like walking. You learn to walk by taking small steps first, not by jumping. Speaking works in the same way. First, your mind must learn to hold small English thoughts comfortably. Then slowly, bigger speaking becomes possible. Let me show you the wrong way and the right way. The wrong way. You want to say something simple, but you try to make it sound too perfect. For example, maybe you want to say, I was tired, so I stayed home. But inside your mind, you begin making it too complicated. You start building a huge sentence. Today, after returning from my work, I was feeling extremely exhausted. Therefore, I decided to remain at home rather than go outside. Now, maybe that sentence is not wrong. But is it natural for daily chat? Not really. And for a learner, it creates pressure. Because now the sentence is too long, too heavy, too controlled, too unnatural for normal speaking practice. The right way. Say, I was tired, so I stayed home. That is enough. That is clear. That is natural. That is useful. That is speakable. And this is the kind of English you must practice daily. Now let us go deeper. Thinking in simple English means you stop trying to translate your whole life from your native language into English. This habit is one of the biggest speaking problems. When you first think in your own language and then translate into English, your speaking becomes slow for two reasons. First, your brain is doing double work. Second, many translated sentences do not sound natural in English. So what should you do instead? Start directly with very small English thoughts. For example, when you open the window, think, nice weather, it's fresh, the air feels good. When you eat food, think, this is tasty, it's too spicy, I want more, this is enough. When you sit down to work, think, let me start. I need focus. This will take time. I can do this. When you feel lazy, think, I don't feel like working. I need a break. Let me do one small thing. These are not special sentences, but that is exactly why they are powerful, because they fit real life. And if your thoughts fit real life, your English starts becoming alive. Now I want to tell you something very important. Many learners think simple English is weak English. That is not true. Simple English is strong English. Why? Because if you can use simple English quickly and clearly, you can communicate much better than someone who knows difficult English but cannot speak at the right time. Real speaking is not about showing off. Real speaking is about connection. If you can answer quickly, clearly, and naturally, people understand you. People respond to you. People feel comfortable talking to you. That matters much more than using difficult words. Let me give you a real example. Imagine someone asks, "How was your day?" A learner who wants perfect English may panic and stay silent. But a learner who thinks in simple English can say, "It was good, a little busy, I had a lot of work, but I'm okay now." This answer is simple, but it is real, it is natural. It keeps the conversation moving. That is how chatting works. Chatting is not about perfect performance. It is about natural flow. And simple thinking creates that flow. Now let us talk about how to practice this in daily life. Daily practice method for step 1. This is a very easy method, but if you do it every day, it can change your speaking power. Practice 1. Start your day in English. When you wake up, do not touch your phone first. First, make 5 simple English thoughts in your mind. For example, I'm awake. I still feel sleepy. I need to get up. Today will be busy. Let me start well. This takes less than 1 minute, but it starts training your brain from the morning. Practice 2. Describe what you are doing. During the day, speak or think small English lines about your actions. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm getting ready. I'm making tea. I'm checking my phone. I'm going outside. I'm sitting down. I'm starting work. This teaches your brain to connect English with real actions. That is very powerful. Because now English is no longer only in your book. It is in your life. Practice 3. Describe your feelings in simple English. This is very important because chat is not only about actions, it is also about feelings. Practice simple feeling sentences. I'm happy. I'm stressed. I'm confused. I feel better now. I'm a little nervous. I'm excited. I'm not in the mood. I feel calm today. When you can express feelings simply, your English becomes more human and more natural. Practice 4. Use small thought, small sentence. Anytime you have a thought, do not make it big. Keep it small. Not, I am feeling a certain type of emotional pressure due to the amount of pending tasks I must complete. Just say, I feel stressed. I have too much work. This habit will make your speaking faster and lighter. Practice 5. Repeat your simple thoughts aloud. Thinking is good, but speaking is stronger. So after you think a sentence, say it aloud if possible. For example, I need water. I'm tired. This is nice. I'll do it later. I don't want this. Let me try again. When thought and voice work together, improvement becomes faster. Now let us talk about one mistake you must avoid. Do not wait until you know enough English. Start anyway. Because fluency does not come first. Practice comes first. Confidence does not come first. Usage comes first. The more you use simple English, the more natural it becomes. And slowly, your simple English will grow into stronger English. Another very important truth is this. Simple English reduces fear. Why? Because your brain does not feel overloaded. When the sentence is short, you feel safer speaking it. And when you feel safer, you speak more. When you speak more, you improve more. This is why simple English is not a small thing. It is the foundation. Without this foundation, many learners keep collecting knowledge but never build real speaking confidence. So from today, change your goal. Do not say, I want to speak perfect English. Say, I want to think simple English quickly and naturally. That is a smarter goal. That is a more useful goal. That is the kind of goal that leads to real chatting ability. And remember this clearly. A native-like chat does not begin with big vocabulary. It begins with fast, simple, natural thoughts. That is where your daily English must begin. So every day, practice this. Think small. Think clearly. Think in English. Do not chase perfection. Do not fear mistakes. Do not make your thoughts too heavy. Just build simple English inside your mind again and again until it starts feeling normal. Because the day English starts feeling normal inside your mind, it will start sounding natural from your mouth too. Step 2. Speak in short and clear sentences. After learning to think in simple English, the next important step is this. Stop trying to speak in long sentences. This is one of the biggest mistakes many learners make. They want to sound smart. They want to sound advanced. They want to say everything in one sentence. But because of that, they get stuck. Their mind becomes crowded. Their tongue becomes slow. Their confidence starts falling. And then they stop speaking. This happens because long sentences need more control. You need more grammar. You need more vocabulary. You need to connect many ideas together. You need to remember what you wanted to say at the beginning while still speaking at the end. That is too much pressure for real-time conversation. And chatting does not give you a lot of time. When people chat, they move quickly. They react quickly. They say one idea, then another idea, then another idea. So if you want to chat like a native, you must learn this habit. One thought, one sentence. This simple rule can completely change your speaking. Let me explain. Many learners try to speak like this. Yesterday, I was going to the market because I needed some things for my house. But on the way, I met my friend, and then we talked for some time. And after that, I forgot what I wanted to buy. Now, yes, maybe the sentence makes sense. But in real speaking, this kind of sentence is heavy. It is easy to lose control. It is easy to forget words. It is easy to make grammar mistakes. It is easy to panic in the middle. Now look at the same idea in a better way. Yesterday I went to the market. I needed to buy some things for my house. On the way, I met my friend. We talked for some time. After that, I forgot what I wanted to buy. Now the idea is still complete, but this version is easier to say, easier to understand, easier to remember, easier to speak with confidence. And this is how real communication becomes stronger. You do not need to impress people with long sentences. You need to express yourself clearly. That is the real goal. Native speakers also often speak in short parts, especially in daily life. They do not always use long, perfect structures. They say things like, "I was tired, so I stayed home." "It was a long day. I didn't feel like going out." Very simple, very natural, very effective. This is why short sentences are powerful. They make your speech feel lighter. Why do short sentences help so much? Because fluency is not only about language. It is also about speed and comfort. If your sentence is too long, your brain has to carry too much at once. But if your sentence is short, your brain feels safe. And when your brain feels safe, your speaking becomes smoother. This is important because confidence in speaking is often not about knowing more. It is about reducing pressure. Short sentences reduce pressure. And when pressure becomes less, speaking becomes more possible. Now let me show you how to practice this in daily life. Practice method for step 2. Practice 1. Break every long idea into 3 or 4 small lines. Take one long thought and divide it. For example, long version. I wanted to study English last night, but I felt sleepy after dinner, so I decided to sleep early and continue in the morning. Short version. I wanted to study English last night, but I felt sleepy after dinner, so I slept early. I decided to continue in the morning. Practice this every day. This teaches your brain not to carry too much at once. Practice 2. Tell your day in short sentences. At night, describe your day using only short lines. For example, I woke up late, I felt tired, I had tea, then I started work. The day was busy, but I finished many things. This is very good practice because it builds speaking control. Practice 3. Use pause as your friend. Do not be afraid of small pauses. Short speaking is not weak speaking. You can say, "I was nervous, but I still spoke. And honestly, I felt proud." That small pause between sentences is natural. It gives your brain time. It gives your mouth control. It helps your confidence stay strong. Practice 4. Record yourself saying one idea in short lines. Choose a topic like your morning, your room, your job, your plans, or your feelings. Then speak for 1 minute using only short and clear sentences. This will train you to speak in a more natural flow. Now here is something very important. Short sentences do not mean childish English. They mean controlled English, strong English, useful English. A person who speaks clearly in short sentences is much easier to understand than a person who tries to sound advanced but keeps stopping in the middle. So from today, stop asking, "How can I make my English sound more difficult?" Start asking, "How can I make my English more clear?" That one question can change your whole speaking style. Because chatting is not about complicated language. It is about clear communication. And clear communication starts with short and simple speaking. So remember this. Do not carry 5 ideas in one sentence. Say one idea well. Then say the next idea. That is how confidence grows. That is how natural speaking begins. Step 3. Learn and use real daily phrases. Now, this step is extremely important if you want to chat like a native. Why? Because native speakers do not speak one word at a time. They speak in ready-made phrases. This is one of the biggest differences between learners and natural speakers. Many learners build sentences word by word. They think slowly. They search for words. They translate. They arrange grammar. But native speakers often do not do that. They use phrases that are already living inside their mouth. Phrases like, "What's up? How's it going? I'm on my way. Give me a second. I'm just kidding. That makes sense. I don't feel like it. Let me think. No worries. It's not a big deal." These phrases come out naturally because they are used again and again in real life. And if you want to chat naturally, you must build the same kind of phrase bank inside yourself. Let me explain why this matters so much. Imagine someone asks you something simple. If you only know single words, your brain works too hard. But if you know whole phrases, your response becomes faster. For example, instead of building a sentence from zero, you can directly say, "I'm not sure. Let me check. Sounds good. That's true. I get it. I'll see. Maybe later. I'm a little busy right now." That is much easier. And that is exactly how daily speaking becomes smoother. Now here is the truth. A learner who knows 500 useful phrases can often chat better than a learner who knows 5,000 random words. Because speaking is not about how many words you know. It is about how quickly and naturally you can use what you know. Phrases help you do that. They save energy, they save time, they help you sound more natural. They also make your English less robotic. For example, many learners say, "I understand." That is fine. But in real daily chat, people also say, "I get it, got it. That makes sense. I see what you mean." These sound more alive in conversation. Now let us look at some types of daily phrases you should learn. 1. Greeting phrases. What's up? How's it going? How have you been? Good to see you. Nice to hear from you. 2. Reaction phrases. Really? No way, that's great. That's crazy. I can imagine. That makes sense. I know what you mean. 3. Time phrases. Give me a minute. I'll be there soon. I'm on my way. Just a second. I'll do it later. 4. Feeling phrases. I'm exhausted. I'm not in the mood. I feel much better. I'm a little stressed. I'm so excited. 5. Thinking phrases. Let me think. I'm not sure. I guess so. Maybe. It depends. 6. Everyday action phrases. I'm heading out. I'm just getting ready. I'm about to eat. I need to finish this. I'll call you back. When you collect these phrases and use them daily, your speaking starts sounding less like study English and more like living English. Practice 1. Learn 5 daily phrases every week. Do not try to learn 100 phrases in one day. That will become heavy. Choose just 5 useful phrases. For example, I'm on my way. Give me a second. I'm not sure. That makes sense. I'll do it later. Now use them again and again all week. Speak them. Write them. Imagine situations with them. Use them in self-talk. This helps them move from memory into real speaking. Practice 2. Group phrases by situation. This is a smart method. Make small groups like for greeting, for phone calls, for shopping, for daily life, for feelings, for agreeing and disagreeing. This makes phrases easier to remember because they become connected to real situations. Practice 3. Use one phrase many times in different situations. For example, take the phrase, "That makes sense." Now use it in many ways. You are tired today? That makes sense. You studied all night? That makes sense. You don't want to go out? That makes sense. This repetition builds natural use. Practice 4. Replace textbook sentences with real phrases. Instead of always saying, I do not know. Also, practice. I'm not sure, no idea, I have no clue. This gives your English more natural variety. Now remember this clearly. Do not learn phrases just to remember them. Learn phrases to use them. That is the difference between passive English and active English. Passive English stays in your notebook. Active English comes out of your mouth. And your goal is active English. So from today, stop learning only isolated words. Start learning the small sentence pieces that real people use every day. Because chatting like a native is not built from grammar rules alone. It is built from repeated, natural, useful phrases. That is what makes English move faster in your mouth. Step 4. React fast. Don't overthink. This step is where many learners lose everything. Not because they don't know English, but because they think too much before speaking. In real conversation, you don't have 10 seconds. You have 1 to 2 seconds. If you don't respond quickly, the moment passes. The confidence drops, and silence takes over. That is why your goal is not perfect English. Your goal is fast, simple reaction. Let me show you the difference. Someone says, "How was your day?" Overthinking learner. Okay, how do I answer? Past tense? What words? And they stay silent. Natural speaker. It was good, a little busy, but I'm okay now. Simple, fast, real. That is what you must train. How to practice this? When you hear a question, force yourself to answer immediately. Do not wait for perfect grammar. Use small answers. For example, what are you doing? I'm working. Are you free? Not now. Do you like it? Yeah, it's nice. Speed creates fluency. Remember this line. Slow, perfect English sounds weak. Fast, simple English sounds natural. Step 5. Talk to yourself every day. This is the most underrated and powerful step. You don't need a partner. You don't need a teacher. You don't need a classroom. You already have everything, your mind and your voice. Most learners wait for someone to practice with. And because of that, they don't practice enough. But the truth is, you can become fluent alone. How to do it? Talk about your life. Morning. I woke up late. I feel sleepy. I need coffee. Afternoon. I'm working now. This is difficult. I need a break. Night. Today was busy. I did many things. I feel tired. At first, it will feel strange, but slowly, your mouth becomes comfortable. Your fear becomes smaller. Your confidence becomes stronger. And one day, speaking will feel normal. That is the goal. Step 6. Stop fearing mistakes. Let me tell you something honestly. If you are afraid of mistakes, you will never speak freely. And if you don't speak freely, you will never sound natural. Because natural speaking is not perfect. Even native speakers make mistakes. They forget words. They correct themselves. They change sentences in the middle. But they keep speaking. That is the difference. Many learners stop like this. I made a mistake. I should stop. No, you should continue. Change your mindset. Not, I must speak perfectly, but I must speak freely. Mistakes are not your enemy. Silence is your enemy. Every mistake you make is a step forward. Every time you speak, you improve. So, from today, speak, make mistakes, keep going. That is how real confidence is built. Step 7. Use emotion in your voice. This is where your English becomes alive. Many learners speak like robots, flat voice, no feeling, no energy. And because of that, Even correct English sounds weak. But real conversation has emotion. Happy, tired, excited, surprised, frustrated. For example, without emotion, I am tired today. With emotion, I'm really tired today. Without emotion, that was good. With emotion, that was really good. Feel the difference? Emotion makes your English more natural, more interesting, more human. How to practice. Take one sentence and say it in different ways. I'm okay. I'm okay. Tired? I'm okay. Happy? I'm okay. Sad? This builds expression power, and expression is a big part of natural chatting.